Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we really plunge into some unique sources, trying to unearth those surprising facts and, crucial insights.
Exactly.
Today, we're embarking on, well, quite an exploration. It starts with this incredibly bold statement from our source material.
Okay.
It says, "This is a cold-blooded and factual account of your last 60 trillion years."
60 trillion. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's our source for today, L. Ron Hubbard's Scientology, A History of Man.
Right.
And it really does claim to unlock the secrets of, well, human experience, existence itself, way beyond just this one lifetime we usually think about.
So our mission today, essentially, is to do a deep dive into this pretty dense material. We want to pull out those unique nuggets of knowledge, those insights, and explore its very distinct understanding of what shakes us. Importantly, this is all from the author's perspective, what's in the book.
Yep.
And just to give you a taste of the scale here, the foreword, it makes this massive promise. It claims this knowledge is so useful, it can make the blind again see, the lame walk, the ill recover.
The insane become sane, and the sane become saner. Yeah, it's quite the declaration.
It really is.
And the whole thing seems driven by this idea that there's something fundamentally, I guess, wrong with man, as the text puts it.
Right. It points to things we might puzzle over, like babies being much more stupid than kittens, which is a direct quote.
Hey, okay.
Or people suddenly speaking foreign languages they never learned, or just that feeling of, I have been here before. Deja vu, maybe, but maybe more.
And these are presented as proof that our normal understanding just isn't cutting it.
Exactly. So the central problem, according to this text, comes up in this process called auditing. That's the Scientology counseling method, right? Where the pre-clear explores memories.
Correct.
Well, the book says if you only look at the current lifetime during auditing, you get mediocre results.
Mediocre. Okay.
But, and this is the big shift, when auditing expands to cover the whole span of the time track, that's the 60 trillion years bit, then the recoveries become swift and spectacular.
Reaching miracle level results, it says.
Miracle level. So that's the premise.
And navigating this huge whole track involves a key tool, the electropsychometer, the E-meter.
Ah, yes, the E-meter, invented by Volney Matheson, it says here.
Right. And it's described as having a range greatly in excess of anything before known.
Okay.
Basically, its job, according to the source, is to let the auditor map out the character, extent, and content of the whole track.
Like a diagnostic tool for tracking these really old incidents.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to be the idea presented.
Okay, so this 60 trillion year track, it's not just one big lump. The source breaks it down into four main areas, four categories of past incidents for auditing. What are they? First, pretty straightforward, your present life, conception to now.
Okay.
Second, the genetic line. That's the whole evolutionary chain on Earth leading to the physical body we have now.
Got it. The body's history.
Third, large specialized segments of the whole track. A bit vague, but okay. And fourth, the theta body line. This is the whole track proper. And the author says this is the only one that can produce a clear, rapidly.
And remind us, that's someone freed from these enneagrams, these past painful moments.
Exactly. Freed from the things believed to cause irrational behavior. So the theta line is key for that rapid clearing.
What's really interesting, I think, is how the book then dissects what a human is. It breaks us down into different entities or targets for this auditing process.
Right, like layers to peel back.
Yeah, and each layer supposedly needs a different approach to fix these aberrations.
And it starts really small, like down at the cellular level.
Cells.
Yeah, the book claims individual cells have past lives, and by auditing these cellular injuries, these engrams at the cell level, you can supposedly fix physical problems.
Wow, like what?
Well, the example given is relieving early engrams in tooth pulp. Doing that, it says, can make a toothache in that tooth almost impossible.
So, physical pain linked to cellular memory from past lives.
Yeah.
That's quite a claim.
It is. The insight presented is that physical issues might have roots way down in cellular history.
Okay, so beyond cells, what's next?
Next up is the genetic entity, or GE.
GE, okay.
Described as the entity which carries forward from the earliest formation of the est body. Mest being matter, energy, space, time, the physical universe, the body.
And the physical stuff.
And this GE is apparently located more or less in the center of the body, the stomach.
In the stomach.
It's called the mind of an animal, a kind of composite of all the cellular experience. And it supposedly runs basic body functions, sees the body through death.
And auditing that.
Auditing the GE, the source claims, can alter physical structure and even eradicate physical malformations. So a direct link again. Genetic memory tied to physical form.
Alter physical structure. Okay, then what?
Then we get these things called injected entities.
Injected, like from outside.
Seems like it. They're called synthetics, or ridges that think, forming demon circuits.
Demon circuits. Okay, this is getting wild.
Yeah. They supposedly hang out in specific spots in the body, like center forehead, right inside shoulder. And they act like actual minds, mimicking people the pre-clear dislikes.
So they're like parasites, mental parasites.
Kind of. The text blames them for mysterious voices, paralysis, anxiety, stomachs, arthritis, all sorts of things.
And how do you get rid of them?
By auditing electronic incidents, which implies these entities are maybe energetic or tied to some kind of technology. It's a very externalized view of problems we usually think of as internal.
Definitely externalized. So with all these cells and GEs and injected things, where's the actual me in all this?
Good question. And the source has an answer. It calls the theta being the fourth and only really important target.
The theta being.
Yeah. Defined explicitly as the I, it is WHO, the pre-clear is. This is the core you.
Okay. And what is this theta being, according to the text?
It's described as immortal, doesn't need a body to think or feel, capable of generating energy. And the missed body, our physical body, it's called just an unwantedly inserted sliver.
The sliver.
Or an identification tag.
Wow. Just an ID tag. That completely reframes how we see ourselves physically, doesn't it?
Massively. And the claims get bigger. A restored theta being, it says, can remold the human body, change weight, appearance, even height.
Remold the body. Serious.
And even manufacture bodies.
Okay, manufacture bodies. The insight there seems to be that our physical form isn't fixed at all, but totally changeable by this core I, the theta being.
Exactly, if its abilities are restored.
That's a dramatic reimagining. Okay, so let's track these timelines. First, the body story, the genetic line.
Right, the MS body's evolution on Earth. The source says the GE, that genetic entity, actually makes it possible at last to vindicate the theory of evolution proposed by Darwin.
How so?
By revealing these hidden traumatic evolutionary memories that supposedly drive our current behavior and physical shape.
Ah, okay. So Darwin was right. But this explains the why behind it, in a way.
That seems to be the claim. And it gets very specific about this journey. Talks about epicenters in the nervous system, like old command posts, uses the funny bone as an example.
Epicenters.
And it mentions two separate lines, right and left brain lobes, that supposedly merged way back when we were like mollusks.
Mollusks, really?
Yeah. And if those lines don't coordinate properly now, that's linked to being right or left-handed, or even having half paralysis.
Wow. Okay, so handedness goes back to mollusks.
According to this, yeah. Then there are prenatal incidents, things before birth, coitus chain, fight chain, attempted abortion.
It's happened to the GE, right? Not the theta being.
Correct, to the GE.
Yeah.
And they're like phonograph record-like recordings in the body's mind affecting our physical structure now.
And the claim there is huge, too.
Oh, yeah. The text states, cancer has been eradicated by auditing out conception and mitosis. Eradicated cancer by auditing birth memories. That's a massive claim about the mind-body connection, rooted in these prenatal events.
It really is. Now, should we get into some of the specific, really unique evolutionary incidents listed here?
Let's do it. These sound like the core of the history of man part.
Okay, first one. The atom. This is supposedly the very first incident on the genetic line. The preclear acts like an atom, complete with electronic rings, wanting no ARC.
ARC being affinity reality communication.
Yeah.
So like wanting total isolation.
Yeah, the deep desire for comfortable aloneness traced back to being an atom.
Okay, what's next?
The cosmic impact. Early life forms getting zapped by cosmic rays and exploding.
Ouch. And that connects to
modern anxiety stomach, the source claims. Ancient physical trauma popping up as today's anxiety.
Okay, I see the pattern. Ancient event, modern echo.
Exactly. Then the photon converter. This is early life as algae or plankton living off sunlight.
Photosynthesis, basically.
Right. And the apathy they felt at night, quote, eons later becomes the messed body's craving for sleep.
So sleep is linked to being plankton.
That's the connection made here. Then there's the helper. This describes cell division, mitosis, but as an enormous struggle.
The struggle.
Yeah, one half tries to revive the other, but the revived one just swims away, leaving to his fate the other that helped it.
Wow, that sounds dramatic for mitosis, almost like a betrayal story at the cellular level.
Right. It's presented with that kind of anthropomorphic drama, maybe linked to abandonment issues later on.
Could be the implication. Okay, what about the clam? That one sounds memorable.
Oh, it is. The source calls it a deadly incident if restimulated. The clam's hinge wanting to open and close, that's supposedly the origin of the hinges of the human jaw.
Our jaw hinges come from clams.
That's the claim. And it gets more specific. The clam getting stuck open and baking in the sun, that's linked to sunburn.
Sunburn, okay.
And the way clams reproduce, with inner cells exploding like spores, linked to human teeth and cavities.
Teeth and cavities from exploding clam spores.
Right. And there is a warning here. Describing the clam death to people who aren't prepared can apparently cause severe jaw hinge pain or make them feel like their teeth pulled.
So just talking about it can trigger a physical reaction based on this supposed clam memory.
That's what the text asserts. The core idea seems to be radically reframing common ailments, tying them to these specific ancient evolutionary traumas.
Definitely radical. Keep going.
Okay, the weeper. This is about 500,000 years spent on the beach as some creature constantly pumping salt water.
Pumping salt water. Why?
The book suggests this is why humans cry salt water in order to feel better. Those ancient pumping tubes supposedly became our eyes.
So crying is linked to being some ancient beach creature pumping water. Wow.
It's a direct physiological link proposed between ancient adaptation and modern emotion. Then, the volcanoes.
Environmental hazards.
Right. Volcanic eruptions during that beach period, choking sulfurous smoke. And the really unique suggestion, smoking tobacco is a sort of dramatization of volcanoes.
Smoking. Yeah! Dramatizing volcanoes. Okay.
That's creative. It's definitely a unique interpretation. The source also mentions lots of being eaten engrams. Apparently some creatures showed a strange compliance to being eaten.
Compliance. Like they just let it happen.
Seems so. And this compliance, it's claimed, later on this may take on the form of compliance in being beaten or abused, points directly to the origin of masochism.
Masochism from being willingly eaten millions of years ago. Heavy stuff.
Yeah. Then we jump forward to early humans, the Piltdown Man. Described as man's first real manhood, but capable of freakish acts, strange logic, like eating one's wife.
Eating one's wife. Okay. Piltdown Man, wasn't that a hoax, though?
Historically, yes, the Piltdown Man fossil was proven to be a hoax. But it's presented here in the text from 1952 as a genuine stage. Its enormous teeth are linked to obsessions about biting.
Interesting. So the text uses it regardless of the later scientific debunking.
Seems so. Finally, the caveman. This period explores things like marital malaction, jealousy, violence, strangling, smashing in heads with rocks, and pack instincts.
So are deep-seated social issues and aggression traced back to caveman times?
That's the idea. These very early brutal stages are presented as the source of many core human behaviors.
Okay. That covers the body's strange journey, the genetic line. But what about the eye, the consciousness? The theta line.
Right, the I story. And this one is even vaster. The source says the whole trek seems to begin about 70 trillion years ago.
70 trillion. Okay, the numbers keep getting bigger.
They do. And on this track, we have the Thetans cleared theta beings. Apparently they like collecting facsimiles, like memory recordings.
Like collecting stamps or books.
Exactly, collecting memories. And sometimes, it says, they steal the facsimile chains of another Thetan, which creates second facsimiles. Borrowed memories.
Borrowed memories. Okay. That could explain some confusion, I guess.
Maybe, and this is where human problems, or aberrations, get a really weird explanation. The source says the Thetan aberration is caused by electronics.
Electronics.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of volts, thousands of amperes, poured into destructive wavelengths and thrown straight in his face.
Wow. Ancient electronic warfare.
That's exactly what it sounds like. And it connects this to modern mental illness. It claims people considered insane who talk about fields and secret waves and telepathy and things being after them with electronic devices are actually dramatizing real fatal line incidents where electronics have been used for unthinkably long times to handle and control beings.
So what we call psychosis or paranoia is, in this view, a replay of actual ancient electronic attacks on the theta being.
That's the stated insight, a complete reinterpretation of mental illness.
Mind-bending. Okay, let's hear about some specific theta line incidents. These sound like they'll be even stranger.
They are pretty out there. First, the Jack-in-the-Box, an invader trick, it says, uses facsimile scramblers.
Scrambler.
Yeah, described as pretty little boxes with pictures of boxes of pictures on them. When you put the lid back on, bang, it explodes, confuses the thetan.
And that relates to?
To modern curiosity about things like cereal boxes, which have pictures of boxes of cereal.
Cereal boxes?
Oh.
Seriously. That curiosity comes from an ancient exploding trap.
That's the connection made. Even small curiosities might have these deep, bizarre roots.
Right. What else?
The obsession, another electronic incident. This one supposedly instills the feeling that you have to have facsimiles, memories, information in order to know.
Need information.
And the source suggests that educational systems are locks on this.
So our drive for knowledge, even formal education, is linked to an ancient electronic compulsion.
That seems to be the implication. Then there's borrowing.
We heard about borrowing facsimiles.
Right, but this describes the method. Thetans supposedly use a retractor beam to steal facsimiles from others.
A retractor beam, like in sci-fi.
Sounds like it. Causes the victim to feel like they're going to pieces. Leads to a fear of losing one's facsimiles. Maybe an ancient root for identity fears.
Could be. Keep 'em coming.
Nipping, called a practice much beloved by Thetans.
Nipping, what's that?
Sending out two energy streams, like hands, and slapping both sides of the victim's head.
Ouch, what does that do?
Causes ringing in the ears, can apparently kill a messed body, and is also described as a basic on holding on to a messed body.
So tinnitus linked to an ancient energy attack that also helps possess a body. That's layered.
It is. Next, blanketing. A thetan throws itself over another thetan, or over a messed body,
Why?
to obtain an emotional impact or even to kill. It's mentioned particularly in sexual incidents. A thetan might throw two messed bodies together in the sexual act in order to experience their emotions.
Whoa, so experiencing emotions vicariously through others.
Seems like it. And this is linked directly to sexual lust and jealousy. The text says the primary error for the teens was thinking a messed body was special, not realizing thetans were driving it.
So intense sexual drives are connected to these ancient thetan interactions.
That's the link presented. Then the halver.
The halver.
Sounds ominous. It's a process used by thetans on meest bodies. Involves a half-light, half-black gun. Hits both sides of the victim, makes them feel like two people.
Two people, splitting them.
Yeah. And this is identified as the basic on half paralysis, such as strokes.
Strokes linked to an ancient weapon.
Apparently. And it gets weirder. When this halver process is rigged up with religious symbols, it supposedly creates a devil on one side, angels on the other.
Good versus evil split.
Yeah, leading to sexual compulsion all mixed up with religious compulsion, suggesting a technological route for deep psychological and spiritual conflicts.
Wow. Okay. This is dense.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Next is facsimile 1, also called the coffee grinder.
The coffee grinder. Okay.
Described as an outright control mechanism used by invaders, supposedly, to cut down rebel raids.
How did it work?
A machine shoots a heavy, push-pull electronic wave that baps the pre-clear. Then they're dumped in scalding water, then ice water, then whirled around.
Sounds like torture.
Pretty much. The source claims this installs a sick quiver in the stomach area that makes people terrified of arrest, of courts, of other legal hocus pocus.
Fear of authority linked to this coffee grinder machine.
That's the claim. And apparently the sound of pneumatic drills can violently re-stimulate this incident.
Pneumatic drills. Okay. What about after death?
Ah, yes, between lives. When a messed body dies, the theta being supposedly goes to a between lives area. The text often names this as Mars.
Mars. Seriously?
That's what it says. On Mars or wherever, the thetan gets hit with a strong forgetter implant.
A forgetter implant. To wipe memories.
Exactly. Described as involving a wheel which contains numbers of pictures and a forescreen, wipes the memories of the past life. This is offered as the reason for second childhood, and why remembering past lives is hard.
So our inability to remember past lives isn't natural. It's engineered, implanted.
That's the insight presented here, yes.
Okay. What else happens between lives, or to get into a life?
There's the emanator. A large, glowing body of radioactive material puts thetans in a trance.
A trance. Why?
It's apparently a recruitment device. Gets thetans to volunteer for Earth using hypnotic transference. If their body isn't returned, they feel lost and homeless.
So our feelings of belonging or not belonging might trace back to some ancient hypnotic recruitment.
That's the implication. Then there are just general theta traps.
Broad category.
Yeah, just methods used to trap the thetan and knock them down from knowing to a colonist, a slave, a messed body, using electronic force to knock the thetan into forgetting. These are the basic ways thetans supposedly get stuck with bodies.
Okay. Trapped into bodies.
And finally, the bodybuilder. This sounds like a place or field that makes the thetan fight again with his attention units to, well, build or operate a body.
Makes them engage with the physical.
Seems like it. And it includes several specific methods presented as traps. The jiggler, where the thetan thinks it is a post. The whirler, spun eccentrically. The spinner, spun until disoriented. The source says this is the probable source of the slang term, spinning, meaning going insane.
Ah, okay. Spinning out.
Exactly. There's also the rocker, swung slowly, which mystics supposedly dramatize when seeking body control, and the boxer.
The boxer.
Hit from every angle until the thetan becomes just a stimulus response mechanism. This is actually called aberration itself.
So just reacting, not thinking.
Right. And the final step is a hypnotic education that makes a file card system out of a thinking being, turns the free thetan into something rigid and programmed for the body.
Wow. So the whole process of being in a body is framed as the result of these ancient, forceful conditioning methods or traps.
That's the overall picture painted by the source, yes.
Okay, so after all that, these trillions of years, these bizarre incidents, how does this framework explain aberration? Like, what's wrong with people and how do you fix it?
Good question. It talks about invalidation. That's defined as any thought, emotion, or effort, which denies or smothers the thought, emotion, or effort of the individual.
Okay, being shut down.
Right. And these powerful forces in those ancient incidents make the pre-clear feel like he isn't, makes him drop down this chart of attitudes from a state of I know down to disbelief, basically losing certainty in self.
Losing self. And this connects to being in a body.
Yes. It leads to the transfer problem. That's the thetan moving into a messed body, which is seen as a major liability.
Being embodied is bad.
From this perspective, yes. The ideal state is out of contact with the messed body entirely. Being inside the body is the worst place, leading to the thetan degenerating into just an entity.
He's generating.
Now, the source claims the thetans are continually being pumped into the mess line. They do not last very long. So being embodied is seen as a trap and a degenerative state for the true self, the theta being.
That's a pretty bleak view of physical existence. So the cure.
The ultimate cure, then, is fixing this confusion of identity, establishing who the pre-clear is, that they are the theta being, and where he is, which ideally means outside the body, or at least in control of it from the outside.
So knowing you're the thetan, not the body or the other entities.
Exactly. Auditing the theta being's actual track, those 70 trillion years, is presented as the way to overcome all the issues caused by the other entities, their laziness and stupidity and desire for death and destruction, as the book puts it.
So clarity about your true spiritual identity is the path out.
That's the promised insight, yes.
Which leads to the goal, right? Becoming theta clear. What does that mean in this context?
A theta clear, according to the source, isn't mystical, it's practical. It means a thetan who is cleared of a necessity to have a messed body.
Doesn't need a body anymore.
Right. They can supposedly leave and return upon a messed body whenever they want. Complete freedom from the body trap.
And what happens when a thetan reaches this state? What capabilities are restored?
Well, the claims are pretty extraordinary, emitting considerable electronic flow, actual voltage and amperage.
Like generating electricity.
Seems like it. Also, telepathy, moving material objects with thought, traveling at very high speeds, and not being limited by things like atmospheres or temperature.
So basically developing superpowers almost, recovering innate spiritual abilities.
That's the picture painted. The reactivation of the theta being's native state, free from all that aberration baggage.
So ultimately, the author is presenting a choice, isn't he? Stick with the confusion, the paradoxes, or accept this answer.
Exactly. The source insists this data can be demonstrated on any pre-clear with ease. It offers a path. First, become a messed clear.
A messed clear, what's that?
Described as a homo novus, a good, sane, rational, messed being, a skyscraper higher than Homo sapiens. Achievable in a very short time, apparently.
A better human, basically.
Yeah, but the ultimate goal is the fully cleared thetan, free from the body necessity altogether.
Wow, okay. So that's the map laid out in Scientology, A History of Man.
And there you have it. What an incredible journey, huh? Through this specific text, L. Ron Hubbard's Scientology, A History of Man. A deep dive covering 60 potentially 70 trillion years.
Yeah, definitely vast.
Exploring consciousness, existence, the self, all through this really unique lens. We've touched on everything from cellular memories and weird evolution.
The clam incidents.
Right, to ancient electronic warfare, those theta traps, and the asserted power of this core self, the theta being.
It is certainly a vast and very unexpected history of what it means to be human, as presented in this particular work.
Definitely unexpected. So the question to leave you with after exploring such a comprehensive and, let's face it, unconventional history, what hidden incidents or maybe past roles, according to this framework, might be subtly influencing your life today? And if you accepted this perspective, what new possibilities might that understanding unlock for your future?